Good morning. This is Councilmember Monica Peters, Chair of the Prosperity, Livability, and Safety Committee, calling to order the Thursday, August 7th, 2025 meeting. And today, who is present is Councilmember Dr. Harmon, Councilwoman Vicki McKeever, and Councilman Tyrone Johnson. We've got one item today. It's 2025-342, and Visit High Point is here to do our troll presentation. Visit High Point will provide a presentation on dam boat trolls, their community benefits, and the opportunities for High Point as a selected site. Melody Burnett, President of Visit High Point, will present.
Thank you, Councilwoman Peters. Thank you for allowing me on your agenda today to talk about a really exciting opportunity for High Point that's come together fairly quickly. For those of you all that I hope are familiar with Visit High Point, but those that may be listening, Visit High Point is a 501c6. We are funded through occupancy tax dollars through our visitor economy. So a visitor that's coming and staying overnight in one of our hotels, they pay occupancy tax, and that is how we are funded. And we do have a vested interest in public art. We do have a subcommittee called the Viva La Art Committee. Typically, it's an ad hoc committee. We talk about opportunities related to the visitor economy or even some strategies on how to address connectivity within our districts as well. Some of the pieces that you see here on the slide are just a couple of pieces that we have helped fund in the past. Public art is an investment. Some of the more affordable ways to address public art could be murals or wraps. Even sidewalk art could be a little bit more affordable. When you talk about big installations and kinetic pieces, we're talking about pricey pieces that could be well over, up to $1 million or more. So. This particular opportunity came from Tom Van Dessel. He is the owner of Splashworks. He happens to be on the Viva La Arts Committee. He's also the chair of Visit High Point. He has a staff on his team, Hal Mortson, that made him aware of the Thomas Dambo trolls. And Tom just emailed me the opportunity and said, hey, this looks like this could be a good fit for High Point. When you get a chance, can you just take a look at it? And that was sometime last year. And once we were freed up and had a couple of other projects behind our belt, we looked at this opportunity in March. I had to put this quote in here because if you know Tom at all, he never takes credit for anything. So I want to go on the record by saying Tom was very instrumental in helping us get this Thomas Dambo troll to High Point. So anyway, we started to research the opportunity in March of 2025. Christina Payne, who is our Director of Business Development, is leading this effort. I wanted her to put some more wind in our sails in terms of addressing public art and the Viva La Art opportunity. And at the time, the Virginia Aquarium had a temporary exhibit back in the summer, and so she made a phone call to them and just asked, what were the pros and the cons of having that installation. It was nothing but positive conversation, and they said, we would probably do this again. Our visitor traffic heavily increased. People are really talking about these trolls. We got us connected internationally. And so then Christina called the Thomas Dambo team, which is in Denmark, and started to explore the temporary versus a permanent installation. And of course, a permanent installation would just have short-term and long-term gains for High Point and would be a more affordable opportunity as well. And if you look at the troll map, which is on the Thomas Dambo website, and you can always look at your leisure, it's thomasdambo.com, and you can see his troll installations, which are over 150 all over the world. You'll see that North Carolina is lacking trolls in the U.S., so that was another reason we said, oh, well, High Point can get in early on this and maybe even be the first installation in North Carolina. And so in April, Christina took a trip to the Thomas Dambo factory. Christina happens to be from Denmark, so we didn't use any tax dollars to fund this trip. She was going to visit her family anyway in April for spring breaks. It just happened to be a great opportunity for her to meet with the Thomas Dambo team and to explore the factory itself. Just to give you some oversight of Thomas Dambo, the artist, he is the world's leading recycling artist. Of course, the Trail of 1,000 Trolls is what he's most notable for, and he uses recycled goods in order to upfit the trolls and curate those, specifically with reclaimed wood. Currently, of course, he has over 150. And he really wants to inspire people through his whimsical creation to explore nature and to think about sustainability and the responsibility that we have to Mother Earth. So when you think about Thomas as a creative, we thought that Thomas himself would be a good fit for High Point as an artist, because when Thomas builds a troll on behalf of the community, you also get Thomas and his ability to talk to the community too. He does TED Talks all over the world, and we've already asked him if he would be willing to do a TED Talk for High Point, and of course he said yes. So we want young, inspiring creatives that are here locally or those that are outside of our area to be able to engage with him and engage through the troll as well. Thomas went to design school in Denmark. He's got a Master of Interactive Design, and we think that he can be an inspiration to the community. So let's talk about numbers for a little bit. Of course, there's 150 trolls all over the world in 17 countries. Just to talk about the engagement, there's 4 million plus families that are already engaged with troll hunting. So they're already connecting to his website, they're connecting to the troll map that has 700,000 unique visitors a year just on the troll map itself. And this just gives you one example just on social media. There is a special troll hunter group on Facebook. And as you can see, this lady here, she says, look, I'm stuck in an airport for 10 hours. I want to go find a Thomas Dambo troll. Where can I go? And 116 comments came about of where she can find a troll nearby in Seattle. They gave her clues on how to find it. And you get all that great engagement about your community in spirit of the troll. So what other troll cities are saying, of course, we did our due diligence and we called others and wanted to explore their marketing as well. And these are just some notable quotes from some other notable locations that have Thomas Dambo installations. The Morton Arboretum in Chicago said that they had record-breaking attendance in 2018. There's some quotes that said their attendance had tripled. The CEO of Coastal Plain Maine Botanical Gardens said that the trolls, I think they invested in 6, they paid for themselves 100 times over, just dealing with the branding and the marketing exposure that they had for the community too. And in Dayton, Ohio, they said that their attendance increased by 700% since they added 3 Thomas Dambo trolls to their community. The most engagement we had was with Amy Stearns, who is the executive director and project 412, which is a really unique project that I think could probably work in High Point if we explored that a little deeper. But anyway, Amy had Alexa's Elixir, so this is their troll that they had right off the Detroit lakes. She said that they were averaging 500 to 1,000 visitors a day. Their community is a community of 10,000 people. So she said, get 1 troll, get 2, get 3, get as many as you can. This was such a great thing for Detroit Lakes, and it was just a great investment. They had 60,000 visitors just in the first 4 months alone. Some notable national media. The trolls have been mentioned in all these media platforms that you see here on your screen that we're all familiar with. Excuse me. And of course, North Carolina would be the largest installation of Dambo trolls in the U.S. in partnership with Raleigh and Charlotte. So when Christina made that phone call to the Thomas Dambo team, and she says, I noticed that we don't have any trolls in North Carolina, can High Point be the first one? They said, well, Asheville's going to get a temporary exhibit in the fall. Charlotte's going to get 5 in the fall, which will be a permanent exhibit at Dorothea Dix Park, and Charlotte will get 1 in the fall. And there is a developer in Charlotte that's going to be installing 1 in a new community right off the River District. And but in talking with the team, they said we might can squeeze in 1 installation for High Point. We started to think about that because there's a lot of opportunity. Of course, I just mentioned Raleigh, Asheville, and Charlotte, which have way more marketing dollars than High Point. So there's a way to collaborate and really maximize our micro-marketing with a greater effort regionally as well as statewide. And even collaborating with Visit North Carolina, they'll want to put some marketing dollars towards that as well. But furthermore, if you look at our train depot, we run Amtrak, and we have the Piedmont train schedule, which runs from Raleigh to Charlotte. For those that are troll hunting, they could make a day trip if they were to strategically plan their trip and go from Raleigh to Charlotte to find all 7 trolls. But if they wanted to break their day up, High Point is nestled right in the middle. And we have a brand new hotel that's being developed right there at the train depot. And if they wanted to stay the night, they can definitely do that because we're an hour and a half from Raleigh and Charlotte, which is a great happy medium. So that's a great collaboration with NC by Train as well. So we needed to get on the action really, really fast because we started exploring in March, and now we're talking about building a troll in November. So Christina, being a fellow Dane, really fast-tracked this opportunity working with the Denmark team with Thomas Dambo. So with her field trip to Denmark, coupled with our Viva La Arts Committee to vet this idea, coupled with an opportunity for Visit High Point to make a small investment as well. So when we asked them what was the average cost of one Thomas Dambo troll, the average cost is about $300,000 to $350,000 US. And that's really affordable when you're talking about public art, because like I said, public art can be very expensive. It is made out of recycled goods and reclaimed wood, so we thought that could be doable to raise those funds in that short amount of time. And looking at our funds at the end of the fiscal year, you know, we manage not only a C6 but a C3. We had some funds that we could utilize out of the 15% of our occupancy taxes. We are legislated to fund specific arts and tourism related projects, and public art would have been perfect for that. So our Visit High Point board approved to invest up to $59,000 for the installation of the troll. But we needed to find another partner that could help us get to that 300 to 350 range and be the perfect partner that would authentically fit Thomas's aesthetic to have that exploration of finding sustainability and accountability for our experiences in High Point. So the perfect partner, of course, pointed to the Southwest Renewal Foundation in the Southwest District. We're all familiar with that district. You know, it is industrial. There's a lot of raw opportunity as well. We know that our future greenway will be developed in that area, and so we just knew that Thomas would probably be really excited about the stories that are coming out of Southwest, the history that's coming out of Southwest, and the renewed opportunity as well. Dorothy and her team at Southwest Renewal Foundation have done an excellent job in drawing up plans, master plans, current plans, future plans, you name it. And then she has a pretty good donor base as well. So we thought that she would be the perfect partner for this first installation. So in partnering with Dorothy, we were also at the same time connected with Councilwoman Monica Peters, who was putting together field trips for us with our partners in Greensboro to explore their public art off of their greenway. So we just knew that the greenway coming right through Southwest would be a great way to give some exposure to the impending troll. We looked at 4 different city-owned properties in the Southwest for Thomas and his team to explore, you know, that were a little off the beaten path, but yet would still be near the greenway. And so connectivity was really, really important for us. The urban greenway connectivity was just a given that had to happen. We wanted to be fairly close to the visitor center as well as the train depot. And of course, the Spring Hill Suites and Pandora's Manor for an overnight opportunity would be really ideal for the location. And then linkable to the Market District and downtown for those that want to have more of an experience in their troll hunt for ancillary amenities. So as we were pulling together the details to curate an opportunity for our troll, and I specifically say our troll because organically, every email that was sent, every conversation that was had, we weren't referring to this opportunity as, you know, when High Point gets the troll or High Point's troll or a troll. It was all in capital letters. All of us collectively, organically, started to say our troll. Everybody was taking ownership in the opportunity so fast that it gave us more reassurance that this would be a great fit for High Point. These are just some notable partners that have rallied around this cause just in the last 3 months alone. We have donors that are donating housing to the team, labor, tools, food, transportation, as well as materials. And of course, the City of High Point would be a great partner as well. June 5th, we had a site visit with the Thomas Dambo team. We hosted them on a very rainy day here in High Point. Thanks to Councilwoman Monica Peters and others who were involved that day. We explored those 4 locations in the Southwest, a piece of oak that was drying out in the Southwest as well. We toured a couple of factories for Thomas to get inspired. And he was inspired. He was really inspired by chair legs that you see in the right-hand picture. And the more he started looking at these chair legs and these spindles, I think what formulated in his mind is that High Point needs a girl troll. So we had no idea when we hosted a dinner for him that night at Pandora's Manor, and we had a group of 30 stakeholders involved. He just kind of flippantly told us, hey, High Point, it's going to be a girl. You're going to get a teenage girl troll. He was just that inspired just in that little bit of time with those chair legs. So I don't want to give too much away, but I did include 2 female trolls that are already in his 150 inventory. The one on the left is Little BB, and of course it looks like she's taken off for flight, and she's close to 20 to 30 feet high. The other one to the right is his latest installation, which is Mama Rosa. She's from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, and she's holding street lights. She's sniffing them like they're flowers. And our troll, our female teen girl troll, will be tied into a bigger story taking place in Raleigh at Dix Park. So there will be a scavenger hunt. You will find it off the troll map and some other clues taking place in Raleigh. There will be a family of trolls at Dix Park. It will inspire a story that's going to tie in to High Point as well as Charlotte. Charlotte will get a male teenage troll. We're having the female teen troll. And the story will continue and inspire those ancillary connective touch points. So Monica and I did not know we were going to have a gender reveal that night, so we were all surprised. The timeline, currently we are working with Raleigh and Charlotte. We just had our first meeting with them last week to talk about a joint press release. And of course, the big press release notable title will be that we will have the largest Thomas Dambo troll installation in the U.S. North Carolina will be the largest, and High Point is going to be a part of that story. There's still going to be an air of mystery. We don't want to give too much away. We don't want to give too much detail about our teenage troll and her story that will be behind it. It will tie into our DNA legacy brand in home furnishings and textiles. I can tell you that. And then, of course, we're meeting with our city team to talk about the clearance that we're going to need for the site. We're finalizing those troll payments because we were able to find a donor through Southwest Renewal, and in partnership with Visit High Point and Southwest, we have a payment schedule and insurance that we're also hashing out with them as well. Also, between now and September, we have to arrange all of our volunteer labor. We will be securing our accommodations by the end of this week. We've got transportation lined up and meals for his team of 7. We also need to match his team of 7 with volunteers from High Point as well. And so we've got lots of folks from the community that won't in on that project. We're coordinating local PR regionally and statewide, securing those recycled materials that Thomas wants to use to build our troll, develop online presence, because of course Visit High Point is going to want a landing page or somewhere that you can have some deeper connections, not only with the troll, but with High Point. So when someone comes to see the troll, we want to grow tentacles and have them explore High Point and possibly even stay the night if possible. And then, of course, finalizing partnerships with Visit North Carolina and NC by Train, because the more partners that we have on this, the more that our investment will grow over time. From October to November, Raleigh will install their 5 trolls on October the 6th. Charlotte will be finished installing theirs by October 21st. High Point will start our installation on October 27th, and I know that we're all thinking about that date. We know what that date means. That's furniture market time. We could not skirt around that date. Thomas said, "You've got 30 days for me here in North Carolina, and I have to squeeze you in during this time." We're making it work. We've got some tricky ways to make it work, and he'll be here for 7 days building our troll with our team. In November, we'll be finalizing details with our state partners. Raleigh's going to inaugurate their Dorothea Dix trolls first. They have to be first. It's in the contract that they're first. So PR-wise, we really have to be in sync on who comes out hot and heavy with the story first, and then where we come later on. So High Point and Charlotte will promote fully after Raleigh comes out when they fully inaugurate their trolls. And of course, we're going to leave out as much location details as possible just to give that air of mystery. So beyond the installation, of course, we want to measure that visitation to see if we're going to see that kind of traffic that some of those ancillary partners have seen as well. And so we have some heat mapping that we do already with a lot of visitor economy opportunities. So it would be easy now to get a base to see what that traffic looks like today. And then, of course, once we start installation, what that traffic looks like monthly. So we're going to start that base rate and then see how that traffic grows over time. I will tell you, with the area that we did pick in the Southwest, I think it's going to be a great area that would not infringe on any neighborhoods because there's not a lot of neighborhood activity there. So let's just say we did get 500 visitors a day. I don't know if that would happen, but I don't think that we'll have any complaints from any neighbors or neighboring businesses within that area. I think it'll be balanced really nicely. Troll merchandise is something that's been explored as well. There's been a couple of partners that have embarked on troll t-shirts, troll hats, little miniature trolls, troll stickers. That's a conversation that we're having with the Dambo team. That's a separate agreement on how we use his licensing. He also has a wonderful picture book of all his trolls that he's done in the past, which could be easily sold at any of our gift shops that are already here in town. We thought about hosting a troll fest. You know, there's going to be maintenance that will have to take place with our troll. She's going to have to have a facelift over time because she is made of reclaimed wood. So we're thinking within 10 years we'll have to have some kind of maintenance work done on our troll. And so in order to do that, it would be great to have the community celebrate that upfit and have those makers join in on that maintenance and celebration. And of course, our partnerships with Charlotte and Raleigh, the first thing that came out of our mouth on day one was troll train. Got to have a troll train with NC by Train. So, and NC by Train's all in. They're just really excited that we're coming together, and they just want to be able to match that marketing and expose that troll activity for their riders as well. And I'm sure that the continuation will continue to grow. I can tell you the folks that are on the site visit with Thomas, they fell in love with him. He is an artist through and through. If you looked at the pictures of him previously in the slide, he used to be a rapper. He used to do street art. You maybe wouldn't know that by looking at him. He just redirected his aesthetic to then start doing woodworking. He builds poems and prose around the trolls, so there'll be a nice little poem associated with our teen troll that will tie in to our branding here in High Point. So we're just really excited about the opportunity to connect with him, to connect with the community, and of course the visitor economy too, and to install a really impactful public art piece that really leans into all of our KPIs here at Visit High Point. So at this point, I'd like to entertain any questions that you all might have of me.
Are there any questions?
I have a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, comments and
Yeah.
question. So there's no expectation for city funding for this troll, is that correct, other than the publicly owned lot?
We have not asked for any city funding
Okay.
for the troll. At this point, between our partnership through Visit High Point, Southwest Renewal, and a private donor in town, I think we're going to have that installation cost covered.
Okay, great.
The only partnership that we have with the city is just to ask for some clearance on that piece of property.
Yeah, okay, thanks. For the listening public, I wanted to ask that.
Sure.
I think this fits in really well. We heard this Bloomberg presentation the other day about, we want to be an art and design year-round kind of city, and this fits in perfectly with the presentation we had the other day to have this troll in town. It fits right in with the theme, so this is all very exciting.
Any other comments or questions?
Councilman Johnson, I would agree with the council member Harmon, that it fits in perfectly, I mean, with where High Point is going, so, yes.
I agree. It really leans into our branding narrative, the aesthetic that we're after, the creatives that we want to recruit here. I think the price is right for public art, and of course, we've got all that good data from others that have gone before us. So I feel really courageous in this venture, and I'm glad that we're able to act on it quickly.
And then I just have one comment. A huge thank you to Visit High Point for pulling this together.
Thank you.
I have never been part of a project where all the stars aligned absolutely perfectly. From Christina being from Denmark and being able to speak to Thomas in Danish and having a family trip planned, to everything, and to ride a golf cart in the rain. I mean, it was the perfect day, and it's the perfect story, and I'm just so pleased and grateful to Visit High Point. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I have to thank you for giving Christina that credit, because if there's anything that I do well, I do think that I hire for any kind of weaknesses that we might have. And boy, did we hit the jackpot with Christina. Being from Denmark, able to speak to that team and knowing the network of makers and brands here in our community, to be able to call that network that we have of designers and makers to help us with the implementation.
And thank you for identifying a partner at Southwest Renewal Foundation, because that was magical too. That so got the funding really quick, and so that was a great partnership, so thank you.
Sure.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, well, this was for information only, no vote is needed, and that was the only item on our agenda. So this meeting will be adjourned. Thank you.